Wake up, guys. Today I'm going to tell a story that seems like fiction, but it's real. It's one of those stories that we read and think, did that really happen? So get ready and don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss anything from the channel. Now let's get to the story that will leave you with your mouth open. Dayse and Samuel had been planning the perfect vacation for months. After a year full of stress at work and life in general, the couple needed some time to themselves. The idea of spending a week on a paradisiacal beach seemed like the perfect plan, but what was supposed to be a moment of rest and romance quickly turned into a nightmare. From day one, Samuel seemed irritated by everything. The sun, which Dayse loved so much, seemed to bother her husband. The people on the beach, talking and using their cell phones, took away his patience. Even the bikini she chose to wear became a subject of discussion. "Do you really think that bikini is appropriate?" Samuel grumbled, looking at the other men around. Dayse rolled his eyes. She was tired of these criticisms, these little fights over anything. This was not what she imagined for her long-awaited vacation. In the following days, the situation only worsened. Samuel complained about the prices in the restaurant, the music in the bar, and even the wind that raised the sand. Everything was reason for yet another discussion, until on the fourth day, after another fight about something insignificant, this time about the hotel's Wi-Fi, Dayse couldn't take it anymore. She needed time alone, away from the negative energy that Samuel was carrying with him. "I'm going for a walk," she said, picking up her bag. "I need air." Samuel, grumbling, did not respond, and that was how Dayse left, aimlessly, through the streets of the small beach town. After walking for a few minutes, she found a lively little bar on the beach. The sound of the music was inviting, and the light, relaxed atmosphere was just what she needed. He sat at the counter and ordered a drink, wanting to lose himself in that moment, away from any worries. It was then that Blake appeared. He was young, with an easy smile and a carefree attitude that soon caught Dayse's attention. They started talking, and Blake was everything Samuel wasn't. Funny, interested, and above all, charming. The conversation flowed naturally, and after a few hours and a few drinks, Dayse felt light for the first time in days. Blake's gaze was penetrating, and she felt a connection she hadn't felt with Samuel in a long time. The desire was there, and it was impossible to deny it. Blake invited Dayse to continue the night in a more private place. She hesitated for a moment, but the memory of the fights with Samuel pushed her to say yes. They went to Blake's hotel, which was just a few meters away from where Dayse and Samuel were staying. As Dayse tells this part in detail, upon entering the room, the chemistry between us exploded. Blake was affectionate and intense, and we indulged in a night of unbridled passion. Blake knew exactly where to touch and press. I felt like I was on cloud 9. My legs were shaking with happiness. Suddenly, Blake did something I had never done before. He entered through a place that wasn't designed for that. It was like a forbidden door that I had never let Samuel touch. Blake gently moistened her for several minutes before entering like a triumphant general, breaking down barriers and opening up such a narrow place. I screamed wildly until my body was moistened by those elixirs of love. Despite the pain, I experienced the most wonderful moment of my life. I felt like an object to Blake and no one else. It was as if all the problems and frustrations disappeared for a few hours. Dayse hadn't felt this way in a long time, and for the first time in years, she allowed herself to be free without thinking about the consequences. But the consequences were closer than she imagined. The next morning, when she returned to her room, she found Samuel waiting for her. The look on his face wasn't one of anger, but something that left her confused. "I heard everything," he said with a serious tone. You were in the next room, your screams of pleasure. I could hear it here. Dayse was in shock. She expected an explosion of fury, a confrontation full of accusations. But what Samuel said next surprised her even more. Next time, let me know. I want to participate. Dayse was speechless. That unexpected request from Samuel left her bewildered, but at the same time, something inside her lit up. The idea of having both men, of being the center of their attention, excited her, and that was how they embarked on a new phase of their lives. In the following days, the love triangle between Dayse, Samuel, and Blake began to unfold. What began as a forbidden adventure quickly turned into an eccentric relationship where Dayse was the link between the two men. Samuel, who until then had seemed distant and oblivious to Dayse's emotional and physical needs, was now completely involved. He saw her with different eyes. He wanted to be part of every moment, and the dynamic between them changed radically. Blake, on the other hand, brought the youth and spontaneity that Dayse so desperately needed. He was the perfect escape from the routine, and together with Samuel, they created a strange but somehow perfect balance. The three began to meet regularly. What was supposed to be just a vacation adventure ended up extending beyond the beach. The secret between them kept them together, and the excitement of something new kept the relationship fresh and intense. Dayse, now with two men at her feet, felt powerful, desired, and above all, complete. Those vacations that started with fights and frustrations were now marked by moments of pure freedom and pleasure. However, despite the apparent harmony between the three, things started to get complicated. Jealousy, which at first seemed non-existent, began to appear. Samuel, as involved as he was, sometimes felt uncomfortable seeing the connection Dayse and Blake shared, and Blake in turn wasn't used to sharing, which began to create tensions. But Dayse, now in control of the situation, knew exactly how to deal with both of them. She learned to balance their needs, keeping them satisfied while at the same time ensuring that she remained the center of their attention. The vacation came to an end, but the relationship they built didn't end there. Back in their routine, Dayse, Samuel, and Blake kept in touch. What started as a simple escape from reality ended up becoming part of their lives. And so the love triangle continued, full of ups and downs, but always marked by the intensity and passion they shared. This is the story of Dayse, Samuel, and Blake. A story of how a simple vacation trip can completely change the course of a relationship and transform lives. Sometimes you have to step away to find something new, something unexpected. And in Dayse's case, that something new was exactly what she needed to reignite her passion for life. If you like this story, don't forget to like, share, and comment below. Want more stories like this? So, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Until next time.